Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Galaxy Battle C qualifiers. I am Luminous, going to be joined by Tsunami, and this is going to be... Why is my Dota 2 music not on? This is going to be a best of three between a Geek Fam and Mineski. And let me welcome in my co-caster as I try to fix some musics.
5 seconds.
Real elegant, real smooth.
Yeah, man.
I feel welcomed.
I'm all about that.
You gonna fix your open mic too?
Open mic. Yeah.
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 We good. We good. All right.
Growing pains.
My boss is watching this. My boss is not impressed. Why is my Nyx Assassin not moving? Is that a Dota bug or is that me bug? Ooh.
It's you bug, but Nyx Assassin's also a Dota bug, so maybe it could be both.
It's double bug. I could barely hear you. What's happening? So much
we did that audio test.
Yeah, good thing we did it. Alright, what do you got for me, man? Talk to me.
Well, you seemed intrigued by Elder Titan. Well, maybe okay, never mind. Let's take it back a little bit, cause we can't just go knee deep into this. So, Galaxy Battles, Southeast Asia qualifiers.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned right now, as is the typical situation for Southeast Asia, they're in a perpetual rock paper scissors of three teams that are always vying for, you know, the throne. And earlier, like 2 months ago, it was Mineski, and then, you know, Fnatic took a little bit of their little points away, or potential for points, and then TNC comes in, and both of those other teams were like, why is Mineski not getting invited to stuff, and then they beat them. And so, you know, this is just classic Southeast Asia, because I know like 8 months ago you and I were casting Southeast Asia, and Clutch Gamers was just like dumping on fools, and where are they now? Who knows? So, you know, that's just what this region's all about.
Well, they were in this event. They got sent to the lower brackets straight round one, and then got eliminated at lower bracket round one. So, you know, that's where...
Execration.
Yeah.
Who was also back in the day competing with them. Like 8 months ago, it was like TNC, Execration, and Clutch Gamers, and that was like the rock paper scissors a few months ago, and
Faceless
now
was in there.
Mineski is coming into form. Oh yeah, and Faceless, that's true. But Faceless was getting invited to stuff every once in a while, unlike Mineski apparently.
Well, Mineski, I think, in the past 3 or 4 weeks has been looking really shaky. They've been dropping a lot of like finals in these qualifiers to the other teams. CNC beat them in a, I think, best of 3. Fnatic beat them in a best of 5. And then they didn't even make it to the finals in the Dream League major, so that's looking pretty bad. And then they just went to Perfect World, and they got dumpstered there pretty hard too. So Mineski is just kind of trying to find their own groove. Now, I don't think they'll be Fnatic later on today, but they should definitely be Geek Fam, right? Just
Oh really?
yeah. I mean, based on the results in the past 2 weeks. Maybe we're getting too ahead of ourselves, but Mineski is looking a little shaky in the past 2-3 weeks.
Okay, that's fair. I can see that.
And this is purely going by results. But we got the Elder Titan, which normally is a 4, but this is Ice, and he generally makes any hero work, so gonna hold my breath for that.
Yeah, I don't know if I should. I've seen them run this actually recently. I know ET, supposedly, according to DotaBuff statistics, is the highest 5k win rate hero. I mean 5k MMR, which, you know, technically doesn't exist. I guess he's like what, divine MMR hero.
Is that how they
right
rank
now?
it now? Yeah, sure.
I guess. I mean they need to get with the times, because like 5k, what does that even mean anymore? Like, you know, pro players are calibrating at 5k. So all I know is that ET is definitely doing work in the higher ranked scene, and maybe it's because of the core aspect, because, like you said, I'm more used to seeing this hero as a 4, but I've definitely gotten memed on by offlane core ETs because I just don't expect their damage, which is substantial at times.
And this is looking like a core ET, right? Because I imagine we're gonna see SD Slaughter as the supports here.
That would be my guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Roaming Slardar is much stronger than offlane Slardar.
Well, I like the SD a lot because it sets up for both Slaughter and ET, and should make things easy.
5 seconds.
And
I
actually,
like SD just in general. I think I think Capitalist was mentioning during the end of Perfect World Masters that Shadow Demon's definitely going to be like on the rise
Yeah,
in the coming months in this patch.
He's been mentioning it for weeks, you know? It's one of those things that where you keep saying it, and then one day it comes true and be like, ah, I said
I knew it.
He said it. Yeah, he's been saying it since Dream League, which was like 3 weeks ago, so, I mean, who knows?
Who knows?
Alright, so
Tiny, though. People were skeptical about him. No, I'm sorry, go on.
I was gonna say that ET's actually really good against pretty much any agility hero, including Medusa, because most of her armor is from like base agility. So Elder Titan Aura removes it down to 0, and yeah, that's
why
good.
Tiny's the perfect pick.
Perfect
you don't
counter
have any
pick.
armor to remove.
Sure. But what if he gets like Silver Edge, then boom.
No, because Tiny he builds all of his armor from items these days.
No, he gets armor from Grow now.
Oh yeah, you're right. They changed that.
And you can Silver Edge that off.
Right.
But he still builds like AC and stuff like that.
Yeah, but then, actually, I don't know the interaction. Can you Silver Edge off his status resistance from Grow? Because like,
that should
when you
make
hit
sense.
a Tiny with Silver Edge, he doesn't turn into a level 1 Tiny in terms of size. But
it's a bit inconsistent.
Works.
I think for like Dragon Knight, like if you hit somebody with break, they lose the HP regen, but not necessarily the armor. I think you lose the armor too, but I'm not. Like I think
for Dragon's Blood you lose both.
You lose both. Then it should make sense for Tiny. You lose all the bonuses, right? The damage, the armor, probably even the status resistance.
Yeah, I don't know, because then like, should the status resistance lower the or the time of the Silver Edge break? Who knows? I don't think we're gonna see a Silver Edge this game though.
Maybe, dude. It seems like it's a good item on Elder Titan, right?
But who do you need to itemize against? Is it the Tiny that you're concerned about, or is it the Medusa that you're concerned about?
Dire team
Who
pass.
knows? Who knows? So,
Or
by the
not,
way,
it's Queen of
Mineski picked Sniper twice in Perfect World against King Gwyn. I remember watching that series.
Right.
And they drew. They won one and they lost one. So I think Nana played it both times, or was it Mushi? I think it was actually Nana that played it.
5 seconds
And what is this
remaining.
draft from Geek Fam? It is greedy as hell. Can you see these cores?
Yeah, that's why I was like, okay, you worry about the Medusa, now you gotta worry about the Tiny, now you gotta worry about the Queen of Pain. I think that Geek Fam themselves need to be worried about getting good lands, because Tiny is a hero that can get zoned if he doesn't have good support. And Medusa is also like that, and Queen of Pain, she won't have issues, but you can't, like, dedicate that much to one hero.
So what are these lanes looking like to you? Like off lane Quap, with like Quap Nyx, right? Tiny safe lane +1, and then Medusa mid. That's probably like the strongest laning combinations.
10
Yeah, that would be my
seconds
guess.
remaining.
Mainly because for a brief period of time, Tiny
5
offlane was
seconds
like
remaining.
somewhat theorized with the new tree grab whatever, or like roaming kind of, but it's just not good because by the time you start getting points into your tree grab, then like you have so many spells that need to be maxed, because if you want to be roaming then you gotta max out your toss and then avalanche after that, and tree grab's not really important. But then if you're not leveling tree grab, then you can't farm as Tiny. So I don't like offlane Tiny, and then offlane Medusa just makes no sense. So
Well,
I think it's offlane Quap.
I think in this game Tiny could get away with more roaming and less farming, simply because he's paired with the Medusa.
Radiant
I agree with you normally that if, let's say, it's not a Medusa mid or something, then you do want your Tiny to be essentially being a position 1. But I think this game he can actually even be like 2 or 3, right? We've seen Ice actually play position 3 Tiny for the side of Mineski before, so
10
I wouldn't be too
seconds
surprised if
remaining.
that's gonna be what ends up happening here.
It looks like March usually plays their Tiny. So do you know what role March is?
Alright, Wyvern final pickup.
Okay. Maybe it is offlane, because March is their offlane player, and it seems like recently Geek Fam always runs Tiny for March.
10
There you go.
seconds remaining.
That doesn't seem good though, especially if they run Sniper. You said Nana is usually playing Sniper, right?
Right.
So
I
guess
assume
that would
Sniper
be
mid.
Sniper.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if they run safe lane Sniper, then Tiny can't really go up against that.
I definitely think you want to put Sniper mid. Dusa against most mid hero is already a very strong matchup because of Mystic Snake, and Sniper is actually one of the better ones to stay away because you could take aim. And I mean, Tiny's such a weak laner early on that you could kind of bully him.
Right.
Well, I say weak. He's okay, but not the greatest.
Yeah, only in a 1v1 situation, and especially against a Shadow Demon, you will get harassed way more than you can take.
Yeah, so by the way, for anybody that's following the C qualifier for the Galaxy Battle, we are in the semifinals currently.
Choose your hero.
And we had the semifinal one where Fnatic took it against Fire Dragoon in a 2-0 fashion. And then they play the winner of this series. So this for us is like a little appetizer, you know? You go into a restaurant, they give you some warm bread, and then the main course.
Could I get the
coming up.
Mineski special, please?
What is the Mineski special?
That's actually, you know, it's like chef surprise kind of, because sometimes it's like a straight up 2-0, and then sometimes it's like them losing 1-2 in a 90-minute blowout.
Mineski special is like you go into a restaurant super hungry, you fill up on the bread, and then the main course comes up, you're like, oh, I don't want this anymore.
Is Ice 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 the bread in this situation, and is Mushi the main entree?
I am not saying what is what. You could, you know, you do you.
I'm drawing analogies.
Alright. Oh, and looks
that's
like
what I'm getting.
Ice Ice is gonna be
Ice Ice Slaughter.
Slaughter, yeah. No Elder Titan offlane. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. Especially because I know a while ago when we had casted, that was when he was bringing his offlane Wyvern into the mix.
Yeah.
And so I was hoping we were going to get another treat with a somewhat unconventional, which I guess Slaughter is unconventional in offlane these days.
Yeah, but we've seen it before, right? Like,
yeah, we've seen it before, that's for sure.
I mean, we've seen Elder Titan offlane before too, but it's just not as often, I guess.
Right, and it's not as flashy, that's for sure.
Not as cool.
I guess it makes sense that they would put the ET on a 4 though, because Shadow Demon plus ET roaming combination is very difficult to deal with, because you pretty much are always going to get stomped.
I mean, same thing
And
with
I mean
Slaughter,
that,
right?
like, in the sense of the spell. Well, I suppose, but the heroes that Geek Fam have are kind of tricky to lock down. Like Queen of Pain, she's not really easy to like set up with the Slaughter into the stomp, and Tiny can just kind of throw these two melee heroes away so that they don't get too close.
By the way, in this cast, you're probably gonna have to play the carry role. All right.
Don't I always?
Yeah. All right.
Hey.
Hey, whatever you say, dude. Whatever you say.
Why, are you sleep deprived or something?
I mean, I just got off a 20-hour like journey from Barcelona, so
So
a little bit,
sounds
I guess.
luxurious.
So
I just got off a 10-hour shift of work. What do you
I
want me to
mean-
do about it?
Dude, I'd rather work 10-hour shift than take 20-hour plane rides, dude. My neck just feels, yeah.
You haven't gotten that Sumail neck pillow meta?
Oh, dude. Whatever happened to Sumail neck pillow? He just stopped wearing it.
And that's why he hasn't won a second TI.
Actually, he only wore it during that one TI, right?
I know, and then he won it. That's the secret.
I see.
It's that and Matumba Man's pants, or whatever those were. Swimming trunks.
Aren't they just shorts?
The battle begins.
No, I think they were swim trunks. At least, like, on the H&M site, they're labeled as, like, swim shorts or something. I don't know if they have the
You
name,
actually
but,
looked it up on H&M.
Listen,
Oh my God.
I'm a content creator. You gotta have these props ready for whenever you create some content.
I see.
Slaughter gonna be 1v1ing against a Nyx assassin, it looks like. So, Geek Fam trying to, I guess, just dodge Ice 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 altogether. Because I think a Medusa in a tiny lane, which, okay, never mind.
They're
Tiny's
switching.
going
Yeah,
by.
there's no way they're running dual lane Dusa Tiny. I mean, that's just too next level. But they're actually gonna run a 2v1 for now against Ice Ice Ice. I don't think the Nyx is gonna stay here like for too long, but just gonna annoy him a little bit. Yeah, throw him that tree.
Yeah, you can dedicate some time, but eventually, I mean, Slaughter does better 1v1 against Tiny than most other heroes because the Slithering Crush is physical damage, and we've mentioned time and time again how Tiny has no armor.
Yep. I mean, Tiny does build armor early on. I see a lot of players actually go Ring of Aquila on the hero, which I think is correct.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Ice Ice Ice. This might be a kill. Grab a tree? No, no true grab. Good harass though.
Mid lane, it's gonna be Nana Moon Sniper up against Chion, Queen of Pain.
Chion!
I mean, I am hearing these chicken sounds from the Sniper cosmetic.
Yeah, so this is not the matchup we expected, right? The Qual versus Sniper.
No, mainly because I guess the idea that Mineski was going for is that they are not really going to be roaming around very much. And so, like, you see in the top lane, it's just a pretty much straight up tri-lane right now.
Yep.
Which makes sense because it's basically wherever the Medusa is, you want to draw the most focus. And if she was mid, then you'd be seeing Jabs spending a lot of time mid. But since she's top with Wyvern's protection, then you're just going to spend time up there making sure that Mushi Void can zone out this Medusa.
Yeah, so this matchup, as you see on the mid lane, is actually pretty bad for the Sniper. He has trouble sustaining against the Qual. Even if you aggressively blink in just to lay down the Shadow Strike, as a Sniper, you can't really punish him. And Xion is actually zoning him out pretty hard.
At the same time, Sniper hasn't gotten any points in Shrapnel. And so sometimes in like the early levels, like Queen of Pain doesn't really want to have to blow a blink just to get out of Shrapnel. So you can get some easy damage that way. But he thought, I guess, I don't know, I'm sure he's played this matchup much more than I have, so Headshot was taken at level 2. And then more points in taken. It's now
Dude,
another
he's dead.
Shadow Strike.
I mean,
But at what cost?
what? That's great. You got a first blood. And you got a free
That's true.
heal.
Thankfully Ninja Boogie was in the vicinity, so he was able to get that return kill, but yeah, first blood goes to Queen of Pain.
You know, I'm pretty sure everyone and their mother is expecting Mineski to take this series, but right now the lane stage is actually looking pretty good for Geek Fam.
Right, so if Geek Fam were to take it, let's say, this game specifically, what hero is the most important? Because for me, I think Tiny's going to be the most important. Yes, Medusa is the hardest carry that Geek Fam have, but it's not really going to be up to Medusa how good of a game she has. It's
You
going to be
mean
up to
Tiny? Tiny's kind of like the X Factor, right?
Exactly. So
Alright.
now Medusa is getting X.
Oh, that heal is a little bit too early, but
Still burning mana off with the mana shield though.
yeah. Looks like it's gonna be fine regardless. I do agree with you that Tiny's gonna be X Factor, but let's not forget about Queen, right? Like they're inherently running a very greedy lineup with triple core and some of the greedier supports, and they're winning the lane stage to me right now. So if they could get away with this greed and have a good, decent early to mid game, like Moon is actually getting absolutely destroyed in the mid lane by Chuan.
Right.
So this Quab is also gonna have a big game.
Yeah, but the thing is that I never really expect Quap to have bad games. Like, the number of times that I've seen Quaps fall off are far and few between. Whereas Tiny, if you are able to outplay a Tiny, then he will definitely fall off. And then Medusa's not going to be able to have enough space with just a Queen of Pain, because, like you said, it's extremely greedy. You'll have a Tiny and a Medusa who both want farm desperately.
A very good scan will find out that there is a hero nearby. It is the Invisnix. Man, this Tiny actually is farming so well.
Yeah, he's doing work.
Yeah. This is actually 1v1 lineup, or matchup is actually very beneficial. And they're stacking. Wyvern is doing his best, getting some camps.
Bot lane. Toss on to Slardar. Done. Max toss. So I've seen basically every variety of max spell for safe lane Tiny. Max tree grab seems to be the most frequent, as now Medusa is actually getting it. Let's see.
Wow, that clap was like a mile away, and then punch him dead. You know the funny thing for Elder Titan is that he actually got nerfed in 7.07 patch. So I'm not
Yeah.
really understanding why.
Well,
He's
the
doing so
thing,
much better.
So what are you considering the nerf?
They nerf his stomp. I haven't really looked closely to the talents. I'm sure he got buffed there because everybody
Mid lane sniper.
got buffed on
Another
the talent.
kill.
Yeah. So they changed his
Okay, so-
stomp where it used to be that once you get the stomp, you have like a second to actually attack him like 1 or 2 times before the sleep ticks in. But now you can't do that anymore. But that's just like a very slight nerf.
So, after some testing on that interaction, you still get the 0.8 seconds actually.
Okay.
Because it was 0.8 seconds of like, you can do whatever you want. So, in my testing with ET, it's almost a buff. Because like, if you used to right-click or do any damage, like a Radiance burn or something to a sleeping target, they would always wake up after that 0.8 seconds, like no matter what.
Okay.
But now you get this damage threshold, where it's actually not listed in the tooltip at all. But I know once maxed, you can deal 200 damage, or under 200 damage to a target, and they won't wake up.
Wait, how do you not have that on the, like, changelog order?
Yeah, I know, right? Story of Valve's tooltip life. But yeah, it's 200 damage when maxed. And so, it's really good, actually, because you can buy a lot of time, and a lot of times, like, you know, there's random spells being tossed out for AoE or stuff like Radiance, like I mentioned, or DOTs, like Veno, Poison Ticking, and stuff like that. That won't wake them up immediately after the 0.8 seconds anymore.
That does actually explain his win rate, especially in pub games where you don't really coordinate as well, right?
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
So be on the lookout for that, because when I first read it, I was like, this is a huge nerf to use.
Yeah.
But
that's
it
why
was
I thought
just
as
like
well.
awkwardly worded. So be on the lookout for the stomps.
Yeah, let's
No,
actually
be on
look
the
at his
lookout for
talents as
John.
well.
Bottom tower is under
And
attack.
Lan.
He's fine. He's got blink. He only dies if he uses his blink aggressively. Yeah, he's good. All right, let's check out some ET talents. Does he? I guess plus 30 Astral Spirit hero attacks. Is that cool? I know the 20.
Yeah.
20 is really good for him. The plus 100 Echo Stomp damage.
Right.
Because for viewers at
Unless
home,
you-
not only do your hero actually do more stomp, your spirit also does a stomp. So you're essentially giving your spell plus 200 damage, which is a lot.
Stop. See, look, they're right-clicking her. Her illusions are right-clicking her, and she wasn't waking up.
I see.
But he's definitely taking a lot of damage. And Medusa is actually doing, like, fairly well, given the lane. She's... Oh. You told me to carry and I failed.
Dude, he died like way in the jungle. I didn't even see that one coming.
Yeah. Well, March's doing a great
Yeah,
job.
March is
Max
like-
out toss.
I think this is actually the change of 7.7 B or C or whatever that number of the patch is. Now that fact that you get 5 attacks with tree grab at level 1, there's less of an incentive to max it early, right?
Yeah, but the cooldown is much longer. So, like, you see that this is a very combat-oriented Tiny. And he's not really, like, he's still getting a lot of farm, but he's not, like, taking jungle camps, and even though Playhard has stacked that one hard camp, it's not like a Luna or Medusa or something like that. March is being very spell-oriented rather than just farming-oriented, which is why I thought he was in the X Factor. This is the right call, in my opinion.
Okay. I guess it comes down to what do you want to do after level 8 or 9, right? If he's deciding to roam and affect the early game, then you probably do want to have max toss by that point.
Right. And given that he's queuing up Drum right now, it definitely seems like he does want to roam as soon as he completes his first major item.
March might
Assuming he
actually
doesn't
die
get
here.
ganked.
Jabs looking for that disruption. Not going to be close. Ninja's going to have to hit a good stomp here. March going to juke everybody? They see exactly where he is. The stomp's not going to hit. The crush is not going to hit. They toss him away. March looks like he'll just go down. Zero base armor not helping him out here. And Impale's going to be there. March is going to do another toss right before he dies. Sonic Wave, though, comes in, gets the 1 kill. Does he have Blink? He can have Blink, but definitely don't want to Blink into 2 to 3 heroes. So just a 1-for-1 trade. Both teams rotating a bunch of heroes in. And the mid lane is completely empty for now.
Yeah, I think Queen of Pain had a little bit more time on the mid lane since the sniper had left whenever Shouting was first looking for that catch. It was like 4 heroes bought from Mineski and eventually 4 heroes for Geek Fam, but man, Tiny, this max toss deals so much AoE damage as well. Like, every single time he tosses back these targets, it was basically like a Scream of Pain setting up into the Sonic Wave, except Queen of Pain didn't need to do the Scream of Pain, it was just toss AoE damage.
So how are you feeling about the early game? Apart from Tiny and Qual doing too well, you feel what do you think Mineski is gonna start making their plays?
They're trying right now by sending this Elder Titan and Shadow Demon pairing up, because initially Jabs and Ninja Boogie were just chilling in the in the top lane. But then it seems like they've kind of given up on zoning out the Medusa as now. Man, yo!
I got this.
Do you?
I ain't screw up. I didn't miss anything.
Chronosphere into stop.
Ooh, that's a good combo. Blinks away though. So here's the problem right now for the Mineski lineup. It just doesn't feel like they do any damage. At least not before like minute 15, right? Their combo is, I don't know, Chrono into Earth Splitter, right? That's their big thing.
Yeah, well, and ideally Sniper dealing damage into the Chrono.
Yeah, but Sniper needs items, and
Right.
he's got no items because he lost the lane. So I honestly don't think the Mineski team could actually fight till like 25 minutes in, just judging on how slow their lineup is. And initially we call the Radiant lineup greedy, but I mean, if you look at it, Queen of Pain can fight early, Tiny can fight early, and they have been fighting early, so maybe Mineski's definitely a greedy lineup.
Geek Fam have a very, like, sustainable team, because
Oh my goodness.
Nitz Assassin Wyvern is now that's like dead. Faceless Void.
Sorry, what were you saying before that happened?
Yeah, it's Geek Fam have like you can leave basically all these heroes alone except for Medusa, and they're going to be able to survive anything. As now March is going in onto Tiny, interrupting the
my
Slithering Crush
goodness.
animation.
He interrupted like 3 times.
Yeah.
It was Toss interrupted, and then Avalanche interrupted, and then he tried to run, and he got the tree.
That's another thing that I've seen a lot recently. It used to be that every single time a Tiny, like, you never cast Avalanche and not toss at the same time, because the combo damage is just too good.
Right.
But now that you have a tree, you're oftentimes better off just stalling out so that you can have more stun time that you're, as now Nyx Assassin, being assassinated. Doesn't
He's
want
got
to be
Spike.
faced.
He's trying to fake it out.
Yeah, he's trying to juke it out.
Oh.
Aww.
Alright, come on, you could have reacted to that play hard.
He was like, there's no way he'll waste the mana on me.
Well, back to your point about the Avatar's combination. It's also because everyone's leaving Avalanche at like level 1, right? So it's not
Right,
as
that's
important to get that combo. Whereas I think the traditional way of playing Tiny, you just max both those spells, so it is super important, and you double up on the damage.
But I mean, Toss is a solid. It's like it's a 1.2 second stun, I believe, and so you can basically squeeze in one extra right click with a tree, ideally, that you weren't getting before, and that's a lot of burst damage. As we see, like Slardar is not a squishy hero by any means, but basically got soloed.
Did he have sprint turn on or no?
No, he didn't even.
Okay. Yeah, not gonna lie, right now we have Medusa getting uninterrupted free farm. This stack, I think that was probably taken by Medusa as well, so Geek Fam is looking good.
The tricky part will be whenever Mineski starts teamfighting, because Mineski's teamfight is infinitely better than Geek Fam's. So once Mineski start 5-manning, which is bound to happen, we'll have to see how Geek Fam reacts, if they can like react properly.
I mean, if Medusa is not caught inside the Chronosphere, Stone Gaze could be a very like decent interrupt.
Sure, but that's assuming that the Geek Fam team is like, I'm talking about like, so between 20 and 30 minutes, when Medusa's still farming, but Mineski hopefully get a Blink Dagger on Slaughter, which Ice 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 is making progress towards it, but he's not very close to it just now. Another solo kill. As Nyx Assassin was just scouting, and he may get tossed on, if he tosses the sniper.
Yeah, they're now actually kind of surrounded in a pretty bad spot. Chronosphere is going to get dropped here for the Tiny. Immediate co-embrace, and now Winter's Curse on the right side. Ice 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 in a lot of trouble. Sonic Wave hits on all 4, and now Geek Fam is just running the show. That's going to be yet an extra kill on Moon. Ninja Boogie going to get blinked on, or are they going to toss one more in? I think it's time to back it up here for Geek Fam. Geek Fam withstands Chronosphere, gets 3 kills, and it's just embarrassing for Mineski right now.
Yeah, that Chrono was like a last-ditch Chrono, because like you said, there's no damage to put inside of a Chrono. And if there's one hero that you're not going to be able to kill, it's going to be Tiny. Because he already had, I think he may have just gotten his level 12 grow off of that fight.
I think
but regardless, like, he's
yeah.
super tanky. And so he's not an easy target to kill.
Well,
And he was the only person who was chronoed.
I think if the Wyvern wasn't there, the Tiny probably dies, right? The Wyvern actually did so much. Saved Tiny's life and then set up the Sonic Wave, so it was just a double whammy. Ice, ice, ice. Gonna get a nice sentry ward to help him out. Double stun. Assassinate's gonna fly through. And that should be a kill.
I'm actually surprised that Marsh didn't go for... Oh, he is going for Shadow Blade. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he went for the drum first, already finished up a Blink Dagger after that, and is now going for Shadow Blade. So this is what we were saying about the X Factor. Like, you need to be able to create space for this Medusa. You can't be another farming position. And so Marsh is playing this perfectly.
He's gone Blink as well.
Sure yeah, so I'm sure there was a reasoning why he went for Blink first before Shadow Blade. And maybe it's because, you know, you already have an Invis Nyx Assassin on your team. You're better off not doubling up or doubling down on Invis, but it's working out, and I think Shadow Blade is still a good item regardless.
I think normally you don't go Blink, but in this game you're up against a sniper, right? So you just want as many ways to get up to him as possible. So I actually like the Blink a lot in this game. It does feel like doubling up on Blinks and drums might be an overcommitment, and a Soul Ring, right? He has a ton of these like early game items, and the bottle. Wait, there's no bottle. I'm just dreaming. But my point stands. There's a lot of like these early-ish game items, which normally looks really weird, but this game again, he just wants to fight.
Yeah, and sometimes the alternative that we'll see for this style of Tiny is stuff like Echo Saber, which is like a hybrid between farming and still like early game-ish item.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, this more gank-oriented stuff is working out, and it's also making life easier for Nyx Assassin, because Nyx Assassin is just serving as like a moving observer ward for Tiny. You see these two are hanging out constantly, and if Nyx Assassin gets caught, it's because he was scouting out for Tiny. It wasn't just him, you know, on his own, and that protects the Tiny so that he doesn't need to lose this second highest net worth advantage that he has right now.
How do you feel about Mushi not going for MOM? Which you, I don't know, see like 80% of the time on Void these days? He's going for a Shadow Blade into what looks to be a Vlad's.
It's buying time for Sniper is the way that I see it.
Okay.
Because if he goes for a Mask of Madness, then he's basically saying like, I need to be able to kill targets by myself. But that's not the type of game that this has become. They need to take these fights as a team. And a Shadow Blade first is great for initiation, and then Vlad's also helps your team as no Sniper.
Okay,
Alone,
great chrono. And now the Tree Toss is going to come in on move, but here comes the Earth Splitter on the backside to get one. And they should get the secondary kill as well. That is a team fight that Mineski was looking for, and they found it. Good rotations in from everybody, thanks to mostly these Observer and Sentries. Scouted out the Nyx, and then they kind of made the preparation for that counter initiation.
Yeah, initially Sniper was kind of left out on the island, but they were already making progress to the mid lane. Mushi specifically with the Shadow Blade move speed got there just in time, and it's a beautiful chrono to catch those two heroes, Nyx Assassin and Queen of Pain on the edge. And we're seeing the power of the theoretical Titan Earth Splitter into Chronosphere, and then obviously Shrapnel on top of that. So that's the goal for Mineski for sure. And that's the why Faceless Void is itemizing the way he is, except for instead of that classic Mask of Madness.
Well, right now, Medusa still very far ahead. In fact, she is 3k ahead than any of the Mineski's core. And she hasn't actually needed to join any fights, right? It's like the dream carry game.
Yeah, this is the opposite of what I thought was going to happen this game, because I thought Medusa was basically going to get what Sniper is receiving this game, in that Mineski's like Shadow Demon and Slardar and Elder Titan will just constantly be going all over the Sniper.
Yep, and now we see the Blink Dagger coming into effect. Disruption's going to be there, but Sonic Wave's going to get one kill, and now Play Hard looking for the secondary kill. Chuon's going to blink in and try to kick their jabs. Jax might try. No! Great heal coming in from the Wyvern. That is going to be the good save. They take down the mid-tier 1. And Mineski, making the best out of a bad situation, will decide to split push the other lanes. Ice 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 gets one tower, and Mushi is looking for another himself.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It's not too surprising that happened. Right after Chronosphere's expanded, Geek Fam decided now's a great time to smoke up. We can go as 5 and we'll be fairly safe because there's no AoE spell that we need to be concerned about. They get a solid kill. Sniper's definitely the #1 target that you want right now, and they just keep on going on over and over again.
Dire's middle tower.
Super interesting. Ice Ice Ice, by the way, is going for a Helm of the Dominator. Look at him, he's got a Dark Troll Summoner, and he's pushing with these skeletons.
I mean, we do know that he loves this item.
He does.
That was like
But-
when Helm of the Dominator was good.
He delayed it. He delayed Blink for it, right? He went for that and then into a Blink. I mean, it gives you attack speeds, and that's pretty much it, and some decent stats. Not even decent stats.
Well,
just-
it's another aura item. So right now you have health regen by 8 thanks to the Dominator aura and attack speed aura.
Sure.
And then with the Vlad's completed on Mushi, it's another aura item. You've got armor and lifesteal. And, you know, typically Elder Titan's the hero that you build these auras on, which he's going for his own. He's going for a drum on Ninja Bookie. So that just seems to be the plan, is they want to be able to, like I said, 5-man is now they smoke up.
I wonder if he's gonna go for like the carryish talents, right? You take the bash damage at 15 and then attack speed at 20. But
You may have to. Oh, man. He walked his Dark Troll Summoner in here.
I mean, they might just think that's scouting, right? From the perspective of the Radiant, you might just be checking, and then yeah, they're not expecting it at all. Oh my goodness.
Oh, this Nyx assassin.
Yeah,
There's so many
Nyx-
pings going on.
Yep, they just took Roche, and Nyx is like, what's happening? Aegis is gonna get claimed by Mushi, and just get out of it. Yeah. All right, all right.
Yo, shout out to that Dominator aura. Plus 15 attack speed. You got 5 heroes in the pit. You got Corrosive Haze. Easy, Roche. Who
Well,
needs a
the
medallion?
MVP was also that they used the Ensnare to take down the Lincolns on Roche, and then they Corrosive Haze.
Brilliant. Ice Ice Ice, a true pioneer.
Yeah, actually, he really is.
He's going for a BKB now, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does go for the bash damage. Health regen and 20 damage, like, one could argue that they're equally important as a carry. Because right now he has, like, what, 28 or 24 HP regen per second, which is pretty impressive. And Geek Fam are a very bursty team, and so if they can't burst the Slardar down with the initial damage, and if Medusa's not around to deal, like, follow-up physical damage, then he's going to be able to survive a lot more than he should be able to in fights.
Normally, I'm a big fan of the right-click slaughter, because I've definitely seen it work a bunch of times. The problem with that is that there's a Wyvern in this game, so it's gonna make a lot of your physical damage obsolete.
That's true. But maybe his idea with his Blink Dagger is to be able to go on, like, the backlines like Wyvern, while the main heroes are being chronoed by Mushi.
Do you feel like a slow game favor Mineski? They are down, and they're given time to kind of climb back. At the same time, they're
The
playing
only
against
reason...
Medusa.
Medusa, right.
Yeah.
The only reason I think a slow game favors Mineski is because I think that they're more experienced in late game situations. And so I have more faith in Mushi getting a solid, like, big team fight winning, game winning chrono as the game progresses. But, like, if I just saw these 10 heroes, then I would always give the edge to Radiant, because, like we said, during the draft, they have, like, a very greedy lineup. They have basically, like, three carries
Yeah.
compared to the, like, 2.5 that Mineski have.
Radiant's middle
Well,
tower is under
Medusa
attack.
about to hit level 20.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top
Geek
tower
Fam is actually gonna threaten high ground a little bit here.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Tree grab will
attack.
let them punch that building pretty hard.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They're hitting it.
Radiant's
On the backside,
Where's
it's
the
gonna be
trees? Oh, there
no
we go.
tree just yet. Nyx Assassin running into Ice Ice Ice. It looks like top will back it up. Still though, Geek Fam did get some decent amount of damage on that tier 3. Got a tier 2 for free.
Yeah, but Mushi had nerves of steel. He didn't stop farming. He just kept continuing his pace, because the only reason Geek Fam are backing off is because they know that Mineski have an Aegis right now, and Chrono. Tire cooldown, obviously. And now, Skemberlu.
Ooh, good scan.
Are scanning.
They got him. Easy scan.
Now they might turn it around. Sentry Ward's placed, and Nyx just on the outskirts of it. Oh, he walks into it.
Ooh.
Oh,
It doesn't.
Misses.
Looks like it's gonna be dead, but they're gonna try to burst down the Faceless Void. Faceless Void now jumps off all the damage. A pretty awkward position though for Mineski. They use most of their spells. And they'll back it up.
Yeah, it seemed like Tiny mainly just wanted to protect the next assassin because he didn't go for, like he went for the full combo and he didn't go for any tree grab attacks afterwards, and so it's possible he may have been able to burn off that Aegis from Mushi, but spending too much time there, and if your team gets chronoed, is probably a bad idea. But now they're smoking up, and chrono is still up, so this is interesting.
Radiant's middle
But it's gonna
tower is
work.
under attack. Radiant
Oh.
structures are fortified.
For a
Oh,
sniper.
look at the sniper.
Oh,
Oh,
he's dead.
yeah, he's dead.
Not even gonna look at him. Bottom side is gonna be a Chronosphere for Dusa, and they actually, ooh, Mantisal not gonna do anything. Good 4-man gank here against Dusa. Spends the Chronosphere.
Both top net worth heroes go down, but Mineski expends two very important cooldowns with the Chronosphere and the Earth Splitter, whereas Geek Fam, all they did was toss in Impale, which it was also well played by Playhard. He didn't even bother going for the Vendetta damage. He just went straight into the Impale to make sure that there was no time for Sniper to pike away.
I also think that when you have triple core, trading 1-for-1 core-wise is absolutely fine.
Right. Although they are really high in net worth, and so, you know, Rubber Band, the comeback factor, you gotta be cognizant of that.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
The
attack.
next assassin does not Vendetta envision.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
I'm surprised to see Playhard not use Spike Carapace when you walk up the hill. That's generally what most pro Nexus do.
Oh, if they can cancel this, they cancel his TP.
Looks like he might be dead. Protection's gonna be there. He has to jump again, but the Soulbird's gonna take him down.
Did you say
Great timing by Geek Fam. Playhard was right in that area.
Toss gonna
Toss.
find Ninja Boogie. Could blink
He's
and
drumming
toss
away.
again. Yeah, he could blink toss, right? Blink
We'll
toss.
see.
Blink
Where's
toss.
Steph? Where's the blink? Yo, this dude is so fast!
He is so fast, dude.
493 move speed, 522 move speed.
I'm
Well
actually
played by
sad.
Ninja Boogie.
What do you mean well played? He just walked in a straight line back to his space.
No, he was microing his spirit to get him more move speed while he was running away.
Soldier's fortune.
He stomped all over. Well, he didn't stomp, but he walked all over the rest of Geek Fam and got away. What are you sad about?
Oh, that is no longer 522.
Oh yeah. Shout out to 550.
I guess it makes more aesthetically pleasing that it's 550.
Yeah, a lot of numbers that used to not be divisible by 5 in this game are gone. There used to be like a lot of like 17-second cooldowns and stuff like that, or like 300 and
Dyer's
like
bottom
I don't know,
tower
like
is under
weird
attack.
numbers of spell damage and cooldowns and stuff like that, and all the numbers have been slowly getting rounded out to like divisible by 5 or divisible by 2.
10 base math, man. My 10 base
maths.
math. Yeah, actually 10 base math is for plebs. Think
What is
real
that?
real
Oh,
Homo
base
sapien.
10?
Yeah, base 10 math.
Base 10.
Apparently that's like super inefficient compared to like base 12 math.
Yeah, a lot of people just like that weird stuff. Like, you heard of reverse Polish notation before?
What is that?
You like, it's like typing stuff in like backwards into a calculator and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like
what-
it's like numbers. It's like reading numbers like manga. It's like right to left.
manga style. And what does that give you? Like, is it more efficient or what?
It's in theory, it's supposed to be more efficient or like easier to read or something like that.
I see. Void.
Radiant's
Oh
Chrono.
man.
Only getting one though. And now Blink Crush gonna find two. Earth Split's gonna come in as well. Qual not gonna die. Great heal here from the Wyvern from the back line. Now it's gonna be Faceless Void under a lot of damage. Sonic Wave's gonna come in as well. Faceless Void's gonna die on the right side. Toss on the Sniper outside to the Dusa. Dusa's gonna take him down. Force Staff on the chase here, and now Sniper's on the run. Maybe Ice Ice can save him. Yes, he will. In fact, we'll turn around, bash a couple times, and now he is on the run on the left side. Ern is gonna cancel that Blink Dagger, and they give chase to the Sniper. Sniper should be okay,
Man.
or maybe not. Ninja
Is he-
Boogie. Trap
He
node's
has no
gonna be
night
there.
vision.
And now Ava, right click, right click, right click, gonna get the kill. That's gonna be a 3-for-1. And make that a 4-for-1, because I'm counting in Centaur for a kill. Easy. So
I mean, that's the main hero for Ice Ice Ice. Is looking for something, but I don't think he can kill Queen of Pan.
and all of a sudden, after one failed Chrono, it's gonna be high ground, and I don't know how they're gonna defend this without Chrono.
No buyback on ET, and they wouldn't have Earth Splitter regardless. This Tiny's got a big old tree ready.
Dire structures are fortified.
This is not how I expected this game to go.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
BKB. They're going on Dusa. Dusa's actually dying very fast. We'll pop the Manta, and now toss back up
Nice
to his
toss.
team. What a play. Ice 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 has another blink, but feels a little unsafe to chase. No, blinks in, and now he gets Orchided, and he might just die here. He's already buying items. He's dead.
Yeah, that was miscommunication. Muji was kind of moving in, but he still doesn't have Chrono, so
Wow.
he can't do anything. Earth Splitter comes out.
Okay, alright. That gets a kill, and now Mushi's gonna jump forward. Dusa's very low in terms of mana. They actually could chase Dusa. Nice Manta dodge here on the right side, but it's gonna get Orchided. Dusa's still alive. Another BKB's gonna use here, but Moon ignoring that Winter's Curse because of the BKB. Nicely done. Mineski is chasing hard with these, popping a bunch of BKBs.
And Tiny can't toss this Medusa anymore, but... Oh man, they're still going. I mean, he has Chrono now. Oh, but Tiny goes out of night vision. And Void's not gonna find a thing. I'm super impressed by Geek Fam right now.
Yeah, man. They're playing some Dota.
This is very well played.
Well, March
They
in
haven't
particular.
made like any mistakes yet.
Yeah, March in
Yeah,
particular
March
has been
definitely.
doing super well.
And now I don't really know, like, they were able to kind of burn down this Medusa, but that's because, like, Geek Fam are playing it kind of loose. They took that Roche fight, which wasn't really a Roche fight, it was just, like, in the pit area, and they kept the pressure up because, you know, they wanted to get more damage. Like we've said earlier, once cooldowns are down from Mineski, then Geek Fam feel pretty safe. And that was really the only context that they were able to get the Medusa down to, like, critical HPs. And Tiny was just, like, constantly tossing her away. This Medusa has, like, pretty much no defensive items besides the Lincolns, and that's just because Lincolns is just, like, a generally solid item on Medusa, but, like, there's no BKB. Now she's completed the Pike before Scotty, actually. So that's
Honestly,
a
Lincoln's
defensive item.
pretty bad this game, all things considered.
Yeah, but, I mean, the mana is just, like, it's one of the best efficiency items from the Mana Shield. Moon is gonna have to shoot his way.
BKB's gonna actually block that stun, and now he blinks on the back line. He's gonna go on Jab. Jab Sonic Wave is gonna take him down with the Soul Burn, I believe. No, he's still alive. Look like, you know, like it. And now it's gonna be Ninja Ubi on the run. He's very fast. Earth Splitter down the ramp, but nobody cares about it. They juke away. And that shall be kill on the right side. Ice 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 will blink away. And that's
I'm
gonna
pretty
be
sure Play Hard, like, indirectly won that fight for Geek Fam because Mushi has Chronosphere, but he had no mana the entire time. And no one has any Diffusal Blades on Geek Fam right now. So the only way Mushi would have gotten down to, like, critical mana levels is if this Nyx Assassin would just constantly mana burn him. And no Chrono could come out. And Geek Fam, like, they clumped up gladly once they knew that Void couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, I didn't see Mushi's positioning. Maybe he was coming into a fight after farming.
He
as
was
well?
like in the mid lane area. After Slardar jumped in onto the Queen of Pain, then Mushi was kind of in the mid lane vicinity. He wasn't in the river, but then Nyx Assassin was just like dueling with him.
Sure. By the way, after that fight, Ollie, the Wyvern player, is going to pick up a Glimmer Cape, which actually does cut down the damage output of Mineski by a sizable amount. The way that they've been using these Chrono Earth Splitter is mostly on one. And you could just like co-embrace Glimmer that person and probably won't die.
It depends on the target. If it's something like Tiny or Medusa, then they definitely won't die.
Wait, did you see what
'Cause they
the
now
Duso is doing there? So,
like splitting off of Roche or something.
no, he split off of a range tree. I think that Ice 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 dominated. But he was outside the Roche pit and he was hitting into Roche. That was a little
Interesting.
yeah. Something that nerds get excited about.
Oh, Chrono onto Medusa.
They don't-
He doesn't feel confident doing it on solo targets anymore. He knows this Wyvern.
Okay, bash, bash, bash. Chrono just for a Wyvern? Is that worth? I guess. I mean,
Let's see. Snipers escaping from the fight. BKB activated from Slardar.
yep. Trying to block that
No,
toss.
there is no team fight. Everyone wants to find different targets.
I mean, this is classic C Doto, right? Everyone for the oh my god, that was the elevator for Slardar. He just went up down, from the ground floor to the first floor, and he
To
died.
the underground. He's in the basement right now. Yeah, Mineski don't really like. I understand why Mushi is making these decisions, because if you can't land a multi-hero chrono, and even if you do land a multi-hero chrono, like if you don't grab the Wyvern, you're not gonna win that fight, or you're not gonna really do anything in the chrono.
Okay, I get that though, but after you use the Chrono, which is by far your best teamfight ability, you just say, oh, alright, we back it off, right? Like, there's no reason for Mineski to keep on sticking around, but they did anyway, so it's gonna be Sniper caught on the mid lane. Avatos, gonna get the kill here. Good stuff.
March continues to make an ocean of space for this Medusa, and actually, Queen of Pain will take the Aegis.
Okay.
Because she is definitely being the most aggressive hero, and Medusa hasn't really died in like the past 15 to 20 minutes. And now that Butterfly is completed, Pike is completed, I don't really think he's going to die anytime soon.
I don't think so either. Nice two-man crush here, but Avatos is gonna be there for Slardar. Slardar is dead. March is beyond godlike. Well, I think they have a little issues here. As now Medusa breaching high ground. Melee racks under siege. Backdoor production coming up for a second, but it's down real fast as well. Geek fam looking to take a 1-0 advantage here against one of the top 3 teams in SEA. What's happening right now?
It's like a new rock paper scissors element has been added. Well, I'll let them see if they take the series before I start jumping to any conclusions. But more often than not, whenever Mushi wants to chrono and then this time he blinks away.
All right, two-man
Wyvern
chrono, and Earth Splitter is gonna come through. A lot of AOE damage, but not even close, because you can't just rely on Earth Splitter to actually do the damage. Where was the Sniper? Sniper was coming out of the fountain, I guess. Geek fam will retreat safely. They lose nobody. And they could even take shrines now.
Yeah, so usually whenever
is under attack.
an underdog team beats the opponent, oftentimes they'll say it's either the fact that the underdog team outdrafted them or they outplayed them. But in this case, it was both. Like, the laning phase was just hands down in Geek Fam's favor. And despite the fact that initially we were skeptical about this Geek Fam draft, it has very clear synergy that Mineski is struggling intensely with right now. And so, Geek Fam just all around have outplayed Mineski this game.
They essentially won all 3 lanes, right?
Right.
So generally, you don't lose pro Dota games when you win all 3 lanes. I think the most problematic lane though was the mid lane. Like Sniper just got wrecked so hard by Qual, and Sniper
That's
needed
true.
to carry the damage in the mid to late game.
Yeah, it's possible that Void may have itemized differently if Sniper didn't get obliterated in the mid lane. But even like moving forward, like the more I see this Geek Fam team, I feel that even if they have equivalent levels and items to Mineski, like they've had this entire game with like an advantage on Mineski with items and experience and all that business. But even like 1-to-1, I feel like Geek Fam still handily beats what Mineski have.
Oh, they're gonna
Great
find
ward spotting out
Dude.
Void.
How did they even saw him, man?
Shout out to Cliffwards.
Yeah.
The real thing is, how do they know to put that there? That's so smart. So smart.
I mean, Mushi getting caught.
Biggest Euros dog I've ever seen.
That's 60-second without Mushi. They could just high ground. I mean, this Deuce could pop Stone Gaze anytime he wants.
They've already high grounded.
Alright, good counter initiation, Stone Gaze. Not gonna come out just yet. That curse though, oh my goodness, that damage output's gonna be there. Ice dropping low, dropping fast, that's gonna be killed. Stone Gaze triggering it against, against ET. ET's gonna be dead. Jabs is gonna be dead. 4 dead. Make that 5. Sniper's gonna go down. What a Sonic Wave. And they call GG. Mineski down 0-1. against Geek Fam.
Wow.
What?
It's a plot twist if I've ever seen one, but a well-deserved one. I definitely don't think that like they
Oh,
definitely
dude.
just won that game straight out.
When you said plot twist, this reminds me of Iron Man 3, right? For people that
What?
haven't watched Iron Man 3, like close your ears, cause spoiler. You know, have you seen Iron Man 3, right?
I mean, do I care about spoilers for a Marvel movie? No.
No,
Go
okay, so
ahead.
you know how like for the first half of the movie, there's this like super mega dangerous terrorist called Orange,
Okay.
right?
Oh yeah. Okay.
And,
I
and
did
they,
watch
they
this
got up to him and they found him. It's like, oh, it's actually this like lowsy actor, and that's what Mineski is right now. So oh my god, they're so scary. And then they got exposed, downloaded, bodied, dumpstered, at least in the first game. But
That's what it looks like.
yeah. Any final words for game one, as Iron Man defeats Orange?
I want to see. I don't know. I don't think I have any words. Geek Fam have just left me speechless after this game.
Mineski played better. Game 2 coming up next after a break, guys. We'll be back.